Sometimes you're better off if people look at you and think you're dim rather than you opening your mouth and proving it. And Rylan Clark is a prime example of this. Have a watch.
I've got to be honest, that is a major worry. Now, taking politics out of this, let's just look at the country, Tim. Yeah. This country is built on immigration. Legal immigration. You know, a lot of the nurses, the doctors that have saved my mum's life have come over here from other countries and living a great life. They're paying into this tax system. They're helping this country thrive. I find it absolutely insane that all these people, one, are risking their lives coming across the channel like that they are. But two, when they get here, it does seem, and I think this is why a lot of Labour voters as well are now sitting there going, there's something wrong here. It seems, welcome, come on in. This is the narrative we're being fed. Here's the hotel. Here's the phones. Here's the iPad. Here's the NHS in reception of your hotel. Here's 3 meals a day. Here's a games room in the hotel. Have a lovely time and welcome.
You know, it's quite something to say that this is the narrative we're being fed and then proceed to peddle that narrative with no pushback whatsoever. It's a completely false narrative, by the way. Refugees in this country are not living the life of Riley. But what was going on with the casting team? Because whose idea was it to put Rylan Clark on a discussion panel about immigration? This is what I despise about TV these days. Because when it comes to topics like immigration, you need to hear from the experts, not the winner of Celebrity Big Brother in 2013.
And then there's people that have lived here all their lives that are struggling. Yeah. They're homeless. Let's not even discuss our homeless. There are people living on the streets.
There you go. Homeless people have been mentioned, and I do get why this gets brought up, because it is sickening to see homeless people on the street, but that is on the government, not refugees. The government in 2020 proved that they could end homelessness by putting homeless people in accommodation to mitigate the spread of COVID. But the reason that is not a permanent feature is because in a capitalist country like the UK, you need an underclass. You need people at the bottom to serve as a reminder to people who are slightly above that could be them if they step out of line.
I believe that something major needs to be done about this. The money that it's costing us, the amount of people that are in this country that we have no idea who they are, what they've done, what they're capable of, and clearly we see a lot of it in the press at the moment, some are doing, it's not all, what some are doing to people in this country.
If Rylan had actually done some reading on the vetting system for asylum seekers coming to the UK, he would know that the last Tory government deliberately sabotaged the vetting system, which means it now takes longer to process people and determine whether they are allowed to stay in the UK. Perhaps if the vetting system was properly cared for, then people who pose a risk to other people in this country could be identified and dealt with. Also, you see this woman here, that's Camilla Tominey. She is the executive editor of The Telegraph, a paper that likes to put a respectable twist on anti-migrant bigotry. She's loving this, hearing all this stuff from Rylan, because it proves that the propaganda is working and it's become way more accessible.
How can, if I turn up at Heathrow Airport as a British citizen and I've left my passport in Spain, I've got to stand at that airport and won't be let in and got to get this, but if I arrive on a boat in Calais, I get taken to a 4-star hotel.
Now, this is what you call a false equivalency, because Rylan, you are not seeking asylum like the people in small boats are. You are presumably coming back from a holiday, so of course, the two situations are not comparable at all. I hope the casting agent that put him on this panel, I hope that bonus was worth it. Look, I don't think that Rylan Clark is far right, I just don't think he's very smart, and that's okay. He's not on TV to be smart, he's on TV to be funny and entertaining. But if he wants to speak on these issues, go ahead, it's a free country, but make sure you know what you're talking about, otherwise you are contributing to a very dangerous rhetoric.